Hey YouTube, Validation Girl here. So according to mainstream history, Nikola Tesla once invented a mechanism capable of harvesting large amounts of the electricity which occurs naturally in our atmosphere. This device was then able to transmit that energy across vast areas. His device had the potential, with proper placement of replica towers, to blanket the entire planet in an invisible supergrid of free, unlimited energy, and all of this could be done while producing zero negative effects on the environment. Thieving banker parasite J.P. Morgan had eagerly agreed to fund this portion of Tesla's work. Of course, once the power-hungry investor finally found out what Tesla had achieved, he immediately withdrew funding and assumed all rights to the mechanism. He had to make absolutely sure this technology would never see the light of day. After all, there's no way J.P. Morgan was about to let the liberating power of unlimited energy just be given away. He and his soul-sucking business cohorts were intent on maintaining their impenetrable monopoly over energy, and along with it, all the burgeoning industries of the day beholden to its necessity. He decided it would be best that he and his associates continue to obscenely prosper from their scam, rather than risk having to face the abundance of hungry competition an unconstrained marketplace would surely have created. To maintain leverage over the economy, and hence their privileged status over the lower castes, it was crucial that JP and his buddies keep up the grand illusion of energy's limited supply. They needed to be seen as the gods who had harnessed the power, and were the only ones capable of wielding its mighty shaft. By maintaining total control of the supply, they could charge exorbitant amounts of money for their product. You see, enormous wealth directly signifies pure evil. Enormous wealth can only be attained through deception, by force, or through inheritance. When someone inherits the pure evil that is enormous wealth, they are ultimately obligated to perpetuate whatever deceptions and manipulations their benefactor had managed to set in place. In order to ensure that the few will always control the many, particular social mythologies which reinforce a caste mentality must remain embedded and unchallenged in a given society's popular belief system. Fiat economies are nothing more than extensions of belief systems which validate the actions of entities that take wealth by force or deception. Fiat currency is nothing more than a well-thought-out magic trick. It only holds value to us because we verbally agree that it does. Because we are generally deceived by the notion that the Earth's resources are finite and that monolithic corporations are the only ones with enough capital to harvest them, we are then able to be tricked into literal lifetimes of unnecessary extra work, merely fueling a false economy built upon a gigantic deception. When you spend your whole life working like a slave, you don't have time to question the massive paradoxes that shape your existence. Big business and government rely heavily on this in their never-ending efforts to delegate and control every moment of your waking life. Can you fathom how far along we'd be today had Morgan and his elite henchmen not robbed us of the unlimited energy we all deserve access to? Can you imagine a world where nobody had to pay for electricity? How much time and effort would that have saved us by now? How incredible would our economy be today? How much more effort could be spent focusing on much greater problems that plague our rotting society? How many more people could be experiencing true success instead of simply slaving their lives away to satisfy ridiculous, illusory monetary obligations? The cold, hard reality of your life is this: you are a slave. You will toil in vain until the day you die, paying for things you never should have had to. You will continue to slave for disproportionate earnings, and you will never be satisfied. The free time that you have will be spent on meaningless distractions like credit card payments and staged NFL football games, and you'll never quite get around to asking yourself if any of this was ever worth it. This is your grim, castrated reality. If this kind of sociological control can be manipulated upon us this easily, is it really so far-fetched to believe that everything about our civilization and culture could simply be one massive conspiracy? What else are we being denied? What other advances have been kept hidden from us? Maybe we will never know. This is because the world's most powerful and depraved crime syndicates spend every minute of every day perpetuating psych warfare magic on us in order to ensure our complete ignorance. The system we validated is nothing more than an outright abortion of our species' potential, especially considering that our current technological reality is probably 100 years behind where it should be. Can any self-righteous skeptic or debunker of the hated tinfoilers honestly proclaim that we as a civilization have not been continually deceived and exploited so that the few may forever have dominion over the many? Will the debunkers ever grasp the fact that they've wasted years blindly and erroneously defending the evil deeds of their psychological captors for no legitimate, honorable, or justifiable reason? At what point are these people no longer innocent and blameless? Their pathetic attempts to refute conspiracy theories eventually reveal them as the sociopathic enemies of real human progress that they are. Their sophomoric Freudian parlor tricks reveal their feeble insecurities. They are the true champions of self-inflicted doublespeak. They hate reason. They despise introspection. They are the epitome of moral cowardice. Their lower levels of cognitive development are clearly demonstrated by their endless Pavlovian demands for evidence when presented with concise and logical arguments. I mean, what do these trolls really expect? Sign letters of confession from the world's elite institutions of control, admitting that our current reality is a huge load of BS? Get real. Everything is a conspiracy. And no, you will never see the proof.